And welcome, everybody. This is a very fun session for Nicole and I.
Oh, it's very near and dear to our hearts for sure. Meta, and we'll talk about this in more depth in just a moment as we allow more folks in, is obviously our business name, and it has become a big fulcrum of where we kind of function from and leap off of.
Yes, it's like not just a functioning staging land, but it's even a fulcrum, a pivot or lever by which we organize and orient our lives, both personally and professionally.
And we're so happy to share a little bit of meta in community today.
Yes, and just to be with other like-minded folks who care about caring, who want to invest an hour of their Monday, or if you're watching the recording, an hour of your life, getting curious about loving kindness practice, because that's the transliteration of metta from the ancient religion, or ancient religion.
Do you want to record this as you're starting?
Oh, I already started recording.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Recording now button engaged. I didn't hear it. Sorry.
It engaged.
It engaged.
Yes. So from ancient Buddhism, there's two main versions that are practiced nowadays, and it's the Theravada version of Buddhism in the text where you hear about and read about metta and loving kindness. And I think as I look around, you don't need to spend more than 30 seconds on a news feed to realize that we could use a little more loving kindness on the planet. I think it's probably been since the dawn of existence, at least civilization, that humans could probably use a little extra. And so today is an opportunity to grow loving kindness for the whole planet. And just as importantly, to grow loving kindness for ourselves.
Practicing that little bit of tenderness that we so freely share with others that we love so dearly, giving that back to ourselves a little bit today, and how we can use that as a kind of a fuel source, a resource, a wellspring for all of our connections. Yeah, and I'd love to begin with a little bit of breath and a little bit of movement. A big part of opening up our hearts, a big part of loving kindness meditation is opening into our heart space, and also not just our heart space, but the three main kind of centers in our body, according to Taoist philosophy and traditional Chinese medicine: opening up into the head, the center of wisdom; opening up into the heart, the center of feeling; opening up into the belly, the center of power and will. And aligning these centers, or allowing the free flow of universal energy to move through. And one way we can do that is by gently moving our spine. So I'd like to kind of engage our spine a little bit. And I'm going to do this sitting. So wherever you are, just find a little bit of extra space, and so that you can come more perched at the end of your chair, and you can feel your sits bones and start to feel the length in your spine, so that you can start to move it a little bit more freely. And then feeling your feet on the ground, and you can rest your hands on your thigh, and we'll invite you to enjoy, to lavish in 3 full letting go breaths as we move away from wherever it is that you came from to arriving in this metta community. So breath in through the nose, and a nice letting go breath out the mouth.
An audible sigh.
And 2 more.
And let the sound even vibrate your vocal cord, your chest, your throat, like you're massaging yourself with your breath.
And now, as we knock on that door of meditation, we're going to blend our breath with our movement. As we inhale, point your tailbone behind you and gently stretch your heart up towards the sky. And then exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone slightly, and just kind of gently tuck your chin. And we'll do that a few more times, 2 or 3 more times, as you inhale, and maybe start small. And exhale, very gentle, as we wake up into that highway of chi. And I know it's more towards the end of the day, so it's been woken up just a bit already, but consciously connecting with this center line of our body that connects heaven and earth. We are the intermediary between heaven and earth, and we can be that clear channel for the free flow of breath to move through, the free flow of blood to circulate, the free flow of love, of kindness to move, so that nothing's getting stuck. And what we're doing right now is called the yes breath. And it's a really gentle and beautiful way to initiate and open up into our spine, and to initiate and open up into our heart space, and connect with our three centers: head, heart, and belly. Let's do 3 more like this together. And if you'd like to, you can start to, you can you can bring your arms into it, kind of stretch your arms forward. And then you can inhale and stretch your arms up if that feels good to you. Or maybe it's just dropping the arms down by your side, but finding a natural way, easy way to expand,
receive,
and contract.
release.
Last one. And then gently gonna wave your spine from side to side like you're in the ocean and you're a little seaweed, and the waves are rushing up onto shore, and then they're rushing back on away from shore. So they're
and
just
you're
kind
not
of
just moving your head,
and
your heart
whole
space, but move around your belly. Feel yourself shift from sit bone to sit bone. Feel your pelvis, your ilium, your SI joint mobilize.
And it can be quick, it can be slow. Sorry, Eve.
Yeah. Just finding the fluidity, noticing if there's any sharp corners or hard edges, and can you round the movement? Can you soothe or smooth out any areas that feel hard or guarded or straight? Give them a little spiral, a little undulation.
And we're kind of opening up those spaces where the spinal cord exits to innervate all the organs, all the muscles,
So
all
little
those
facets,
tissues. Yeah.
the lateral facets of your intervertebral column.
One more inhale, like seaweed floating in the ocean. And then find a nice, gentle, still point. Resting point. Receiving place.
Should we do one more rotation just to get
yeah.
the 3?
Yes,
so
yes.
healthiest way to move through the spinal column and most joints in general is flexion and extension first, then lateral flexion extension, the side bending second, and then lastly, rotation. A lot of people, when they get a kink in their neck or their back, you'll see them try to adjust it and pop it. And it's a really kind of quick, sudden rotation, which often in the long term, even short term, can do more harm than good, because that little rotation too soon before you've opened it up in the forward and back bending and the side bending, oftentimes will just adjust the unstable vertebrae rather than the fixation where it's locked up. So let's do a little rotation now that our spine has been warmed up. We've got a little more space, blood, oxygen, nutrients.
Awareness along the spine. How do you want to rotate? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I do.
I had a feeling.
We're going to inhale our right arm up and then look back behind you on that way and maybe reach for the back of your chair and give yourself a little twist. Reach that right arm back up like a rainbow. Back forward and rested. And let's rainbow the other hand. Good. Inhale up, long spine. Exhale, rotate back. You can keep it soft, or you can even get a little more muscular. And then back to center. So 2 breaths per side. Feel your body lengthen on the in-breath. Rotate on the out-breath. Lengthen, open on the in-breath. Release. And also stretching your eyeballs. This is going to help your vagal tone. Would you stretch the muscles around your eyeballs? 1 more to each side. Maybe you're doing the letting go breath in through the nose, out an open mouth, or any other breathing you like. And don't forget about the bonus feature of your smile. Smiling makes everything more pleasurable and delightful, especially for the people looking at your face.
Yeah, it is more pleasant for sure.
Great. So a little warming, right? A little,
Mm.
hopefully you're feeling a little more embodied
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
our company name isn't just Meta. Our business name is Living Meta. We don't just want loving kindness to be a mental gymnastic, a thought form, an idea without merit, without actionability. So living Meta is the idea of embodying loving kindness. So we've got a body, right? We're on the planet. If you're on the planet, you've got a body. There's something significant about that. And it's not as though we can live and experience life merely through the lens of our mind, even though a lot of modern folks elevate everything about the mind and kind of see the body as a sin or an interloper or an inconvenience. We elevate the body just like the heart, just like the mind, just like the spirit, as all valuable allies for our wholeness, for our healing. So living metta, loving kindness in action, this expression of well wishes for others and for ourselves.
Yeah, at its most fundamental, metta is yes, that reaching out of sharing loving kindness, friendliness, care, tenderness, compassion to others, and extending that same compassion, tenderness, and care, friendliness to yourself. And for Heath and I, it's not always an easy practice, well, especially for me, I should say, to extend that loving kindness to myself with my own words, with my own actions, with my own care and practice, has been a really big challenge personally to extend that loving kindness to myself. And so for us to embody living loving kindness, it has become a kind of a launch pad, a kind of like a manifesto of what we're looking to create more of in our life.
Yeah, what we most value and what we most want to express and experience now and into the future in the rest of our life. We can't think of a greater, better alignment with our core values.
Right. And I think it was a discovery. It was kind of in the moment of discovering, like, what is important to me? What do I value? What am I giving my attention to mostly and care about and or want to even bring more of in my life? And loving kindness, friendliness, tenderness, care was a really big part of that. And I think that started the evolution of our business name. Well, from like Bodywork seminars.
Well, our first, so we started teaching massage therapy as continuing education instructors about 20 years ago. And our first incorporated name was National Bodywork Seminars.
Very official, very,
very good business credentials.
Yes, we sound important.
Yeah, and in fact, it was a dear friend and mentor who suggested the name. We didn't even come up with it.
No.
And it was very helpful in the beginning. And then a few years into that business, we realized,
well, we're beyond national. We want to go international with what we're up to.
Yeah, we can't just be National Bodywork Seminars.
So then we became Bodyworker Seminars.
Yeah, more open. So anywhere folks want to learn about bodywork. And then
we heard this concept metta many years ago with Kam-Tai Chow. He has a beautiful, he has a beautiful school. His legacy lives on in Montreal.
At the Lotus Palm School.
And it was there the first time we heard the expression of metta and used in a way that resonated with both of us.
In fact, he said that what I distilled from the learning we had with Kam-Tai Chow, the person who wrote the book on Thai yoga massage, several books, and imparted so much both hands-on healing, but I think also personal healing. And what I really came to learn from our experiences in his training and my experiences learning by giving bodywork to hundreds and thousands of clients and receiving hundreds and thousands of hours of bodywork from others is that your presence is more important than your techniques, right? Anybody can learn a technique, whether it be a yoga technique, a cooking technique, a massage technique, but the who and the how and the intentionality behind the technique is actually more important than the thing itself. And we realized if presence is the most valuable thing about my techniques, what do I really want to presence? What do I really want to make bigger and expand? And we just kept coming back to this concept.
Well, and Kamtai really kind of hit it home for us in a way that, again, that resonated and just kind of, oh yeah, how do we do that? What does that look like? And then it became our business.
Yeah, where tech,
my business now to do loving kindness.
Yeah, I can't think of a better goal, and it keeps us personally and professionally in alignment with what we're most devoted to.
And since then, we've created community, and here you are. Thank you so much for being here. And we wanted to really emphasize the expression and experience of living into loving kindness.
Yeah, making it actionable. And what I know is what was written on thousands of years old texts.
Oh, these are like old Buddhist texts.
Oh, some of it is directly from Buddha's lips. And what I do want to point out, though, is just because this is based on Buddhism, you don't have to be Buddhist to practice this. We take value from all the world religions, and across the board, all the religions we know of are interested in being in harmonious relationship with the greater community or with humanity at large or all beings everywhere. And just like you don't have to be a Hindu to practice yoga, right?
Or a Taoist to practice Qigong.
You don't need to be a Buddhist to practice loving kindness. Yes. And in fact, what we're up to in Living Metta is taking ancient wisdom and evolving it for our modern lifestyle. Because what worked thousands of years ago isn't going to work today. In fact, what worked maybe a couple of years ago, you can see societally and how we communicate and the ever increasing technological advances, everything's changing. So in part, our meta manifestation, our meta manifesto is all about inspiring others to get their meta on, to customize and tailor your loving kindness practice in a way that feels authentic, it feels genuine, it feels ripe, it feels alive.
Yes, and we have provided, we bring to you today 3 different experiences of the metta meditation as it has evolved for us in our own personal practice.
Yeah, and did we want to talk about the? Okay, because I have other things to discuss.
I know, but I think we should get into it because otherwise you'll just keep talking.
Oh, I tend to do that, don't I? Okay, let me find my...
The PowerPoint is right here.
Oh, we have a PowerPoint. Oh, great.
Here we go.
So let me do a little screen share
that with you.
Thank you.
One of the basic kind of mantras or meditations of metta is this simple kind of intention. And what I love about metta meditation is that you don't have to feel loving or kind in order to do this.
No, that is really good news, because sometimes
I don't always feel loving and kind.
Sometimes you just don't feel it, but that's okay. Yeah, it doesn't have to be genuine to practice it. And this is one kind of basic outline, and we'll go over a couple different ways.
Many, if you were to Google this, you'd see lots of different versions, longer versions, more extended versions. But we find that like the simpler it is, the easier it is for us to remember and to also extend and share with others.
Yeah. So may you be happy. So at different times, you focus on different folks, including yourself, including friends, maybe family, maybe folks who have supported you, but even nondescript people, even enemies, and even all beings,
people
everywhere.
Who are challenging your
being. Know those people in your life who push your buttons.
Yes, your pusher of buttoners. Yes, I have many button pushers in my life.
I can tell by your tongue twisting that you have a few buttons to press.
My buttons have been pushed lately.
So these are universal aspirations that all beings everywhere want. Everybody wants to be happy.
Everybody wants to be well.
Yeah, to feel healthy, to be of sound mind and body.
To feel safe, because we know that we can't heal unless we feel safe.
and to feel at peace,
Mm.
to feel ease, not to be like you're fighting, that you're at war with others, or
Or with
you're
the world and the universe arguing with what's happening.
or like believing that life is hard and it's a struggle and it's suffering and you have to do hard work to accomplish. Living metta, loving kindness, reminds us we can also accomplish mighty tasks by easy play, not just hard work.
So should we practice?
Yeah. So let's just go through there's
You could do
three
three different
main
versions.
yeah, there's three main ways we do this. And the first way traditionally, and I think it's a great place to start,
Yeah, this is where we started.
is with yourself, because most of us on this call are either massage therapists, yoga
In
practitioners,
service of others,
in the wellness space,
masterful givers.
You're really good probably already at giving loving kindness. How is your ability to receive?
Yeah, so opening and practicing, well, practicing opening and getting really sharp at the skill of also receiving as well as you give.
So the first round, we're going to replace you with I, and we're just going to read this together. And you can have your mics on or off. It's up to you. If it is on, I'll just let you know your voice will be part of the recording, which I think should be fine. I don't think we'll get too much echo or reverb. And it's always a nice idea to start again in a place of presence. So we just took a little left brain, linear, logical journey. So let's get into our right brain, kind of our sensate body wisdom with a few gentle breaths.
Yes. And if you'd like to, you can just rest your hands on your thighs or your lap with your palms facing up, if that feels good. Traditional kind of receiving position. Or maybe you want to bring the palms together with the thumbs touching as another opportunity to kind of connect your own kind of internal circuits.
You could have a hand or both hands on the heart. You could have
a prayer hand if that feels right and natural for you.
You could even do what the yogis call the lotus mudra, where you open up your three middle fingers, you put your lotus right at your heart, and you look down into that eternal lotus that connects us from the dark to the light.
Yes.
Let's find a few nice deep breaths. Find a position that feels good for you, sitting, standing, laying down, but relaxing is most important. And we'll begin. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease.
And we'll just take a moment to breathe into that.
Yeah, let that integrate a little before we move on. Kind of collect all the goodies that are there for you.
And then if you'd like to, you can have someone in mind, or a general population of you, or maybe there's somebody you want to direct your attention to here in the group that's on video, if you like.
Or someone in your life who could use a little extra metta right now.
Here we go.
May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Feel that connection, feel any shifting. And it's also perfectly okay not to feel anything. This is a practice. This is not a permanent thing, right? We practice. And then lastly, for the general, third round, you extend it out to all beings everywhere. And that could include all human beings, that include all living beings, that could include...
I'm imagining all of Carol's beings in her garden over there.
Yeah, all the bees and the birds and the pollen makers and the hidden ones and the bugs and the beetles and the worms. Yes, yeah. So we replace that you with they.
Okay.
So visualize your version of all beings everywhere. May all beings be happy. May they... Okay, we'll just stick... We'll stick with all beings.
Okay.
Let's start over.
Let's start again.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
May all beings be happy.
May all beings be well. Wouldn't that be wonderful? May all beings be safe. Oh. May all beings be peaceful and at ease.
And just notice your breath. Notice any emotion or feeling that may rise to the surface as we do that, and extend our attention and awareness to all beings.
Yeah, I felt with that one a little teary,
Mm-hmm.
a little tender sadness.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel or don't feel is perfectly appropriate. And what's great about this is this sometimes elicits unexpected feelings. And you know what those are good for? Loving them into existence. Because you know what's not very healthy and actually promulgates a lot of strife, anxiety, stress, and unnecessary pain and suffering is discounting or disregarding or discrediting feelings. So part of loving kindness is also about bringing all of you into this moment, including.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Including
all of your feelings, all of your thoughts, all of your beliefs, all of your ideas. No matter how worthy or unworthy, it's not about value, about judgment statements. It's about returning all of you back to you. Because likely there have been times where you've been stressed or even traumatized, where out of necessity, part of you had to go away to keep part of your heart safe. Part of you went away. I know for me, I remember one of the times where early romance, and I was a young adult. This is before you, by the way.
I was wondering.
But don't worry, I've had plenty of times with her that have felt kind of emotionally distressing. Trauma.
We've never pushed each other's buttons.
In fact, we argue regularly, but we do it in healthy ways. Because, you know,
we try.
Disagreeing is part of being human, right? We can't agree about everything because you know what? Some people like anchovies. I despise them.
Anyway.
I remember young love. And this girl who I thought was going to be my forever, just devastated, broke my heart. And I remember crying and feeling so hurt and desperate. And I remember making a deal with myself. I said, this hurts so bad. And I made a deal, not just with myself, but with the universe. I said, this hurts so bad. I'm never going to let myself love someone like this again. I'm never going to open myself up that big that can allow this to happen.
Has anyone ever made a deal like that before? I know I have.
Yeah. And I've had since to like renegotiate that agreement. Yeah. And it's taken years and decades to unravel that. But likely there have been micro or macro expressions of something similar where you closed off your heart. I remember as a young child, you know, just being spontaneous, being a kid, being frivolous and childlike, and being told you're such a baby,
or you're too much,
or oh my God, you're so emotional, and we close down the heart. All these little micro,
get a little smaller,
or macro kinking of the hose,
of the central channel of our expression of creativity and connection
and life force itself.
And there are so many benefits to this besides the reconnection to self and the kindness and care that grows from doing this meditation, not only for ourselves, but others. But I wanted to can we show the next one?
Yes, but in order to show it, you need to screen share.
Thank you.
So you go to screen share.
Is this also mine? Yeah. Cool.
And so we've got scientifically, clinically proven
this. Well, and on the top is a nice link to I think it was 18 backed resources for why do the loving kindness meditation. So it is probably one of the most researched meditations on the planet, the loving kindness meditation, and it's powerful.
And what a great time to be alive, I might say, because 20, 30 years ago, there was no research on
meditation,
loving kindness meditation. Right? What a cool time to be alive, where some of this ancient wisdom is now making its way into the modern mindset, backed by the efficacy of research.
So for some of us, we need to see the science of it, right? That it's not just this hoo-hoo emotional, experience that's sappy or cheesy and, like, oh, we're just trying to be lovey-dovey here. Well, no, I mean, yes. And there's also really great research supporting evidence of the results of doing this meditation more and more often. Mm-hmm. And some of them are, it manages pain, it regulates our emotions, it helps us with our social anxiety, making it easier for us to connect. It increases our resilience and it decreases marital conflicts. Maybe this is why marriage gets better and better with this guy. And it lowers our kind of flare-ups and getting angry about what is, so we're not arguing with each other or with the universe. I'm having the wrong experience. We're doing that less and less. Mm-hmm. But there's so many more. And one of my favorite is that it increases, it slows biological aging was one of the research.
Oh, isn't that cool? Oh, I love that.
So they did this really cool study where they watched the practice of over, I think it was hundreds of women, particularly doing the loving kindness meditation. And those women who did the loving kindness meditation had longer telomeres, which are these kind of...
it's the tails of some of your genetic coding that is often associated not with your biological clock date, like the day you were born, but actually based on how aged you are. So we know some people who are in their 30s may have the health of a 20-year-old or a 40-year-old.
And you can see that based on the length of the telomeres.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our telomeres are elongated by doing the loving kindness meditation.
The longer your life, the
healthier
you are. Yeah, you don't just want
to live long
quantity years. You want to live long
quality years. Yeah. Quality over quantity. I'm for. But so many wonderful. I mean, it even increases gray matter in your brain.
That's cool.
So many cool benefits. And there's a link to it. If you're interested, you can see more. And actually, there'll be a new article coming out shortly in Massage and Bodywork magazine, talking all about the benefits of loving kindness meditation.
Well, who's going to write that article?
Me and you, babe.
Oh.
Me and you.
Oh, that's going to be an article from us?
Yes.
Oh, great. I just wanted to copy paste a couple other things so that when we go into the next experiential, we have a couple things we can put in the chat. So pardon me while I push some buttons on my screen and see if it will.
Are you getting there?
It looks like it's thinking a whole lot. But while we're waiting for that to come up.
I think you have my paper. Yes. Oh, goody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and I had a couple notes on the paper you dropped on the floor.
I'm just throwing stuff over here. I'm like, I'm done with that. Throwing it around. Sorry.
Well, I wanted to give a little of the background, different perspectives of what meta is. Is that okay before we do the
next
last
version
practice?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So one thing that I find is real interesting is the actual story that Buddha used to help describe it. And he described, so there's all kinds of ways to think of loving kindness. Okay. One way it's described, and by Buddha, it was the love of a mother for her child. So you can imagine that's like, how many stories have you heard of moms giving their life for their child, or lifting a car, doing things that are impossible but are accomplished, but not just a mother's love for her child, a mother's love for her only child. That level of attention, that level of care, that level of commitment and high regard. But remember, it isn't just that level of love for someone outside of you. Imagine if you loved yourself in the way that the person who loves you the very most on the planet loves you.
that
That kind of ability to give it and receive it. Another way.
I'd like to love myself like my dog Jake loves me.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. Or to love, or
hashtag goals,
or even goals. To love yourself as much as you love your dog in some cases, right? With some folks. It's also has been described as innate friendliness. And I think this is a pretty cool word, friendly, getting friendly, befriending, because it kind of speaks to the importance of making friends, even of challenging situations. Sometimes it's hard to be our own friend. Sometimes it's hard to be a friend to someone we actually like, or a family member, someone we actually love. Sometimes it's really hard to be a friend to someone who annoys us, our so-called enemies. So, and it's not just like conventional friendliness, right? We're talking about establishing a level of loving kindness to be able to be friendly, even with people you disagree with, that you dislike, people that you don't share anything in common with. I also like the kind of the baseline that loving kindness is all about increasing our capacity to give and receive loving kindness for longer periods of time. And what I think this, and it's like we mentioned, it's not just exclusive to one religion. All religions that I know of speak of the greater care of the community. And I think the golden rule, as talked about in Christian traditions, love your neighbor as yourself. You know, one way to see that is that we should love other people as much as we love ourselves. That's usually the general way it's interpreted. But I actually see it differently. It's not even, the golden rule is not a commandment. It's actually a universal law that you can only love someone else to the extent that you can love yourself, right? If you can only love yourself like 25%, how are you going to love someone else at 100%? You haven't built up that threshold, that resilience. So I love the, pun intended, idea that we can both enhance the giving and the receiving portions of these.
So we'd like to practice another version of the metta meditation with you. Oh, cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so we'll find another comfortable place. You can do this sitting or laying down, however you like. Just be comfortable.
Yeah, and I did find the words that I wanted to copy and paste. I'm going to put them in the chat, okay, so that if you want to go along with us. Oh,
this is different.
Okay, we're doing this. Then I will wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
Right? This is a different one. This
yeah.
One I remember.
Totally. Totally.
I can't see my paper very well.
Okay. Great.
Okay. And actually, could you bring up that paper, that little thing there, so I can?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you can ignore what's in the chat right now. That'll be that will be for later. But do you want me to screen share the other one?
No, that's okay.
Okay. And so what would you like me to pop it up?
Scroll down this page a little.
I think this is a different document.
Okay, never mind then, forget it. There we go. Sorry.
Now we've got the right document, yes?
Yes, I just didn't want to miss anything on it, that's all. Okay, cool. So finding a nice comfortable position to rest back in, to feel comfortable in. And this is an opportunity to strengthen our connection and our kindness to ourselves and others. This is what we're doing, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So first, let's again bring your attention to your breath. Notice your belly starting to expand as you inhale, and kind of reach back towards your spine as you exhale. And starting to feel the sensations of yourself breathing in, the sensations of yourself breathing out, the rise and fall of your chest, and maybe even the lifting of your lips, the corner of your lips on each side of your face, so that you even give yourself a gentle, warm smile, an inner smile. So right now, I'd like you to bring to mind someone who you really believe has your best interests at heart. Someone who has extended kindness and support to you. This could be someone you know from the past, maybe somebody gone, maybe a friend, a family member, a mentor, teacher, colleague, somebody you spend a lot of time with or don't anymore. But choose just one person and bring them to mind as though they're sitting right in front of you and they're smiling at you. Imagine them truly wishing you to be happy, to be fulfilled. For you, see them wishing you with their eyes and with their smile, wishing you a life that is flourishing. And they're beaming all of this energy towards you. Inhale all this goodness. Draw in the intention of love and kindness from this source. Feeling yourself generating those positive feelings, those emotions right here, right now, as if that person were really next to you, but right here. Couple more breaths, really enjoy and marinate in the wish of wellness, of happiness, of peace, of ease from this person who cherishes you, who loves you, who adores you. Now you can let go of the image of that person and just take a transitional breath here and notice how you feel, any emotional kind of residue from the warmth and the goodness that you just received. Notice the way that you are receiving that happiness.
Or the ways that it kind of bounces off or deflects from your heart space.
Yeah, and relax into whatever experience you're having.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing the matter. That's why this is a practice.
Now you filled yourself up, so we can take the same feeling of support and happiness and well wishes, and we can start to extend it to others. And you can bring to mind someone in your life who you know could use that little bit of extra boost.
And I think this is where we could do the different folks.
Okay.
Would this be okay?
Yeah.
And would you like to do the repetition as we think of the individual? I would like to do that too.
Okay.
Cool. So Nicole helped set us up for the loving yourself, right? And sometimes
so
instead of just loving yourself, because sometimes we're not all that great at giving ourselves love or high regard or internal high fives, right? Allowing yourself to receive it from someone who you know without question adores you is a great way to kind of get your
prime
juices.
The pump. Just kind of get it going, get that energy moving.
Cool. So
I know I always have feelings when I do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now what we're going to do, and this is based on the traditional version where you actually delineate different folks. Is this okay?
Yes, but I think the same thing with the well wishes, not the details. Is that okay? Yes.
Great. Yeah. Good deal. Yeah. So the first person we're going to do is we're going to reflect back, and it could be that same person you care about, that patron, so to speak, someone who is invested in you. They've supported you.
You have a patron?
Yeah, they saw your potential.
Investor. Yes.
They saw your potential. They kind of hoped you into existence. Think of that person. I know I've got a whole line of teachers who saw the best in me and encouraged me to achieve that. So find someone like that as you repeat the you version of the metta meditation. So again, a few easy breaths. Visualize the person as though they're in the room with you. Whether they're alive or not, they can energetically be with you. This is your imagination. And we'll say to them, may you be happy. So let's say it together as we visualize the patron. Okay. Or do you want me to read it? So
I just want you to read it so we can just kind of follow along. Yeah.
I understand what you like now. Okay, so you don't need to read along. Your eyes could be closed. Thank you for your clear request. I appreciate it. We got there. Transitional breath. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease.
And you can feel yourself even beaming this energy with your smile, with your eyes, from your heart, with all your being, all your cells starting to vibrate and connect to the feeling and the sensation of the words.
Now think of one of your best friends, your buddy, like the one that when you might be having a rough time, you call, or when you want to celebrate, you tell right away. Your bestie, perhaps, or your number one. And we're going to repeat, or I'm going to read to you that as you visualize that person. So take a few moments to see them.
Who is that?
In the room. You know, what's their hairstyle like today? You know, are they wearing a favorite outfit, something familiar to you or something new? And begin to feel that heart space within you and between the two of you as you share these well wishes. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease. I feel my happy joy factor kind of bubble up. And there's more research in science about the altruism effect, that when you are in service of, when you are appreciating others, when you are caring for others, not only do they get the benefits, but you get it too. So the first few are kind of easy, right? Those are your homies, your homeboys, your homegirls. Those are
my nomies.
Your nomies, yeah. But now we get a little more ambiguous. So now we're going to focus on what's called a nondescript person.
Someone you maybe met at the grocery store or went through the grocery line, grabbed the coffee from.
Yeah, maybe it's someone you see on the regular,
like a mail person or UPS delivery.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily talk with them or know anything about them or necessarily have any strong feelings about them. Just someone that maybe you've seen at the office or you've seen here or there, and you could recognize their face, but you don't particularly have any strong feelings in favor or against them.
Okay.
So take your nondescript person. Kind of weird that they're in the room with you, right? But put them in the room with you. Begin to visualize them.
Think of them.
Start to appreciate. Maybe, you know, you just kind of pass by this stranger. Take a moment to take those easy, generous breaths as you feel your own heart open. Begin by funneling and channeling love to you. So fill up your reservoir first so that you have plenty to share. And then, as though you could express this to the person in the room, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be well. And may you be peaceful and at ease. Yeah. And that I love kind of the challenge and the surprise of how I feel whenever I do that. It almost feels a little different every single time, in part because I try to pick a new stranger every time. Cool. Yeah. Talk about paying it forward, right? Merit making. Yeah.
And the next?
Now we do the so-called enemy. So think of someone, and if this is new practice to you,
I wouldn't say enemy. Maybe someone who's challenging you.
Yeah, someone who rubs you the wrong way, like you don't know what it is, but when they come in the room, you wish they weren't. Or oh, this person again. And so the one that generally you have displeasure around, but you're still willing to offer kindness. You're still willing to grow your own capacity to give and receive love by going through the doorway of a challenging individual. So find that person, and it's always best to just do one person at a time.
Yeah.
Don't do a whole army of people or family cadre of folks.
So sometimes for me too, I find it really helpful to use sometimes my hands as a way as a body worker, I'm using my hands all the time to help kind of share the light. And sometimes in these meditations, I'll bring up my hands and actually imagine that person in front of me and beaming not only from my eyes, but with my smile and all my cells, but also out my hands towards them, the same sentiments. So if that feels natural and comfortable to you, and that feels like, oh, that might want to experiment with that, feel free to do that as well.
Would you like to do this last one
Yeah,
here?
no, you can. Oh,
Okay.
oh, yeah, I like it. I'm enjoying like
Okay, great.
going
Yeah.
along.
See the person. Take a few deep breaths. Again, strange that this person's in the same room with you voluntarily. Take a few deep breaths, just occupying the space of your heart. Notice sometimes your own heart rhythm or breathing changes in relationship, in harmony or disarray with this person. And return back to your breath. Return back to that feeling of receiving love from that person who just adores you, your patron, your person who undoubtedly loves you and has your best interests in mind. And once you feel topped off and fueled by that source, you never want to give from an empty place. Once you feel fueled and filled from that place, see this person of challenge. May you be happy. Again, you don't have to feel any of this. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease. When you feel complete, you can release your hands. And just notice, sometimes that's the most challenging, sometimes it's not.
Not as hard as you think sometimes.
I find almost always that's where I learn the most, is when I start occupying that challenging position and stepping out of drama and looking for a way to connect and appreciate myself and the other person. That's when I feel a lot of inner alchemy and transformation begin to transpire. So I think Nicole's going to bring us home. Instead of doing all beings everywhere, you have one of your favorite practices from pranic healing, a gentleman named Master Ko.
Yeah.
And he kind of does a variation on the St. Francis prayer and just kind of turns on some of the energetic channels. So if you're interested, we'll bring it home.
Yeah, so first we can so we got these kind of warmed up a little bit, and we can even activate our palms even more here. So we can massage that power point, this minor chakra on the center of your palm called Lao Gong. It's a big power point for healers and the healer's hands to activate them, whether or not you actively practice massage and body work or not. You can use your thumb, you can use a knuckle, you can use fingers to help kind of open up the palm. And we can also do that to the other side and just kind of activate and open up your hands, your healer's hands.
All kinds of ways. Find a way that feels easy and friendly.
And then we want to tap the head crown, just kind of open up this channel that connects us to heaven, connect us to universe, to the world, all that energy that is kind of that's all around us, all have access to all the time. Just kind of open it up. You can tap it or you can massage it, whichever kind of feels good to you. And sometimes that spot is sore. So just notice the tenderness, or if you prefer, the little gentle tapping breath here. And then we want to activate our own heart space as if it's not already, but we can kind of emphasize it a little bit. And again, you can tap right in the center of your sternum, CV17, heart palace, just opening up into your heart space with a tapping, or like what Heath's doing, a little gentle massaging. And then we'll bring up our healer's hands, and we feel the activation of our crown and our heart. And we're going to hold up our hands and imagine as if the whole globe, a little mini earth, is floating in between your hands here. And you're taking a couple breaths into your heart space and imagining pink light kind of emanating from your heart out to your hands. Pink light.
And surrounding the globe.
And filling the globe. So not only all around it, but we're going to start to fill up all the spaces. But first we want to fill up your own home. So big breath here as you're imagining the space in which you live and filling that with love, with hope, with peace, with ease. Wherever there is darkness, bring light. Wherever there's sadness, we bring joy. Bringing in all the bliss and all the care and kindness right here, friendliness where there might be suffering. In your home, in your neighborhood, in your city that you live in, think of this city that you're living in and energize with this pink light, love and kindness. Expanding into your state, wherever state you're in, and even into the country, our big whole country that we're living in. Feeling the light, filling the state with light, the pink light, relieving suffering, kindness, bringing joy, adding heart and care, and expanding that all around the globe to all those places you know that people are suffering, that people might be hurting, that beings might be hurting or suffering, big or small. All the beings, all the consciousness on the planet, sending your healing light from your heart and filling all the spaces, all the darkness, filling it with light to Ukraine, Afghanistan, South America, North America, Asia, the oceans, Africa, filling all the spaces where you know there's suffering with light. Smile to the earth. And then gently breathe into your heart space and send that breath up to your crown and maybe even kind of squeeze up your pelvic floor as you breathe into your crown, and then let it go, let it flow for one more inhale, one more exhale. Let your hands just fall onto your lap into the open, receptive position. And now connecting from your heart, breathe into your heart and a little extra sip of breath into your crown. Hold your attention there, squeeze up your pelvic floor, bring all the energy up and feel your crown begin to open as you exhale, receiving all the energy and blessings from the universe. Sharing light where there's darkness inside of you, where there's sadness, bringing joy, where there's hurt, bringing kindness and care. Smile to your body as you breathe from your heart to your crown and allow that crown to fill and open and wash through you from your head to your toes and out the base of your spine. Receiving the blessings from the universe, receiving kindness from the universe. Pink light, maybe even golden light. Directing your palms now face down towards the ground, sending any excess energy that your body can't absorb anymore. You don't need to hold on to it, but rather send it down into the earth, out your palms, out the soles of your feet, out the base of your spine. Send it down to the earth. Send blessings to the earth you live on, the place where you stand. Blessings and healing light to the planet. Smile to the planet. Feel the flow of any excess energy out your hands, soles of your feet, out the base of your spine as a way to ground and complete. One more breath. And then let it go. Sometimes a good shake is a way to cleanse and just kind of share to your body, okay, that's over, and we're letting that go. Sometimes even just like, okay, that's done is a nice way to signal, okay, that's over. So 3 different kind of versions of sharing a metta with yourself and with others. And it is our hope, we like to invite you to find a practice for yourself that feels enlivening, that feels nourishing, and that feels easy and maybe even a little fun.
Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Our next
I love it. Thank you. Feels so good.
It does feel good. I'm going to be basking in this field at least the rest of the evening, probably into tomorrow.
Yes.
And I want to remind you, we've got a fall equinox monthly at the end of next month. Check out livingmeta.com to pre-register for that. And we'll, of course, if you're not part of the meta community yet, and you'd like more practices like this, and even more extended versions, both live and pre-recorded, we'd love to have you join our meta community. Thank you so much. Sending big heartfelt appreciation for you, beaming for love what you in your direction.
Thank you for who you are and what you do.
And we look.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Good night.
You
Good night.
too. Sweet dreams.
So good.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah.